A certain disease has an incidence rate of 3%. If the false negative rate is 10% and the false positive rate is 1%, compute the probability that a person who tests positive actually has the disease. Express your answer rounded to the nearest tenth of a percent. The table below is provided for your convenience. All right, so if we're working with 100,000 people, 3% are have the disease. So 3% times 100,000 people will give us 3,000. So this tells us that 3,000 people out of this 100,000 people are infected. If we work out the 100,000 minus 3,000, we get 97,000 people are not infected. Okay, now false negative. It's a negative test, and it's false. A negative test would be false if they were infected. And a false positive rate, it's a positive test, and it's false because they are not infected. This is where these values are going to go. So the false negative rate is 10%. If we do 10% of the people that are infected, they have negative test, but it's false, the 3,000 people, that's going to give us 300 people. 300 of these 3,000 get a false negative test. They should have been tested positive because they are infected, but they did not get a correct test. And now 3,000 people minus the 300 with the false negative gives us 2,700 that had true positives. These are infected and they did get a positive test result. Now for the red, 1%, if we do 1% of these people, there's 97,000, we'll get 970. So of the 97,000 people that are not infected, 970 got a positive test result. And if we work out the 97,000 minus the 970 with a positive test result, we get 96,030. That's how many people that got a true negative. Okay, finally, adding up the positive tests, 2,700 plus 970 is 3,670, and the negative test total would be 96,330. All right, now we finally get to what are they after for this question. The probability that a person who tests positive, so we're talking about the positive test people, the probability that a person who tests positive actually has the disease. So this is the probability of being infected, actually has the disease, given that they got a positive test result. So if we look just in this highlighted column, the infection rate is 2,700 people out of the total 3,670. And this approximates to 73.6%. This is rounded to the nearest tenth of a percent. All right, I hope this helps.